Hello, everyone. My name is Mr. Tippett, and I am the band director at Orem High School, and I am so excited that we get to have a marching season this year. The timeline has been less than desirable. We just recently were found out that we could have the season, and it's been the last couple weeks we've been gathering information regarding how and what procedures we need to implement in order to have a safe summer season this year. But I'm excited to give you this information, and I'm going to try to be as concise as possible. However, if when I'm done with this video and you've watched the whole thing, you still have questions, please reach out to me. My email address is there on the screen, and I would love to hear from you. Please don't hesitate to ask questions. I am spending not very much time at the school these days, as the school has been closed and we've been allowed to work from our homes. And I have spent a lot of time planning and organizing from my home. So if you need to get a hold of me, email is the very, very, very best way to do that, and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. Our marching band staff this year is mostly the same as last year. We're so excited for the good things that we started last year and in the last few years, and I'm excited to see how those continue in this coming season. So we'd like to welcome all of these staff members back, and I'm excited for all of the new marching band students to get to know these wonderful people who give a lot of time and put a lot of energy into making sure this is a great experience for everyone. Okay, our summer schedule this year is a little bit different than previous summers in that we are not going to be able to do any parades. All of the parades that we normally would participate in have either been canceled or indefinitely postponed. So rather than practicing for parades this summer, we're going to spend a little bit of time working on some basic marching skills for the new students and a refresher for the veterans who are coming back from previous years. And we're going to get into a little bit of music, including some of the show music, which I'll get to in a little bit. But just like last year, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday mornings from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. will be at the Orem High School band room and on the practice field, and learning how to march and having a great time. There are some new safety procedures that we are going to follow this year because of the outbreak of the virus. Each day when you come to practice, we are going to ask you a simple questionnaire. We are supposed to log all of the responses from every single student. It's going to take a little bit of time from the marching band staff members, but the point of it is to keep everyone safe and to make sure that everyone is healthy when they come to practice. We are going to be very flexible with our attendance this year, especially in the summer, especially with regard to illness. If you are feeling at all sick or not in the best of health, please stay home. If you come to practice and you answer one of the questions on our questionnaire in such a way that would potentially put other students at risk, we're going to ask you to go home. And it won't reflect poorly on your attendance record, where it will not affect you negatively in any way. We just want to keep everybody safe. We want to avoid an outbreak in the marching band so that we can continue to have marching band. While at practice, we're going to keep everybody at 6 feet spacing as much as possible. We're asking everyone to wear a mask. Please provide your own. We aren't in a position to be able to provide personal protective equipment for every student. So any masks or if you'd like to wear gloves or whatever you need to do, please bring that, but we're going to keep everyone spaced at all times. The staff is going to disinfect everything. Doors will be propped open when you come to practice, so you won't have to touch any handles. Even still, before and after practices, we're going to go around to as many surfaces as we can think of that students might have come in contact with and disinfect them. just for everyone's safety. Out of an abundance of caution, we are also going to ask students not to touch any of the music stands. We'll be setting those up for you, and we don't want to take any risks with the current pandemic. Please only touch your own stuff. Bring your instrument, bring your equipment that you need, your music. Don't touch your friends' stuff. Don't touch your other students' instruments or music stands or music or anything. Even if it comes from a place of wanting to be helpful, help out your friends. Just don't touch anything that belongs to somebody else, and we'll all be fine. This year, a little bit different than in years past, we're requiring everyone to bring their own water. Drinking fountains at the school are totally off limits. You're going to want to bring a good jug of water in order to have enough water to make it all the way through the end of a practice. From 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., you're going to go through a lot of water. And when you run out of your own water, there won't be any other water sources at the school. We are not allowed to let students drink out of the drinking fountains because that is a prime location for the spread of germs. So bring your own water, fill it up at home before you come, take it home. Don't try to fill it up at school. There won't be any water for you to drink at the school. It feels really weird to say that, but you really need to bring your own water. If you run out of water and you are starting to have effects from dehydration and things like that, we're going to be calling your parents and asking them to come and get you. And we want to avoid that. So just bring your water as much as you can. Okay, we're going to have some camps this summer. All of the camps' start and end times are going to be determined as new information becomes available. But we are going to have a percussion and guard camp that includes drumline and pit or front ensemble, July 27th through the 31st, where they will focus just on percussion and color guard stuff specifically. For the rest of the band, we are going to have band camp August 3rd through 7th. We're going to try to learn as much of the show as possible. And then after band camp, we will have a few probably morning rehearsals from August 10th through 12th to learn as much of the rest of the show as possible. This year, in place of the Orem Showcase, which we have held for the past few years, we are not going to be holding that event this year. We had to cancel that, sadly, just because of the way the current events are going, and we were unable to guarantee the adjudicators that we typically fly in from out of state. And because of that, we're going to have a cleaning camp in place of the showcase that we normally have. The cleaning camp will be on September 12th, and it is going to be a time after we have learned all of the show and we've had a few weeks of practice during the school year. We will take that day to put any final touches, kind of polish up some rough edges, and that'll give us a couple weeks to solidify things going into our first competition. The fall season, we are going to alter the practice schedule this year a little bit. We basically are getting rid of our Wednesday rehearsal and putting it on Tuesdays, and we're going to do the Tuesday rehearsal from 6 to 8:45 p.m. The reason for that is that we have always wanted to have regular practice on the turf football field under the lights. And the only way for us to do that is to have an evening rehearsal or have a really, really, really early morning rehearsal, and we opted for the evening rehearsal. We hope everybody understands and can appreciate that. But I'm looking forward to those Tuesday rehearsals, especially because it gives us a chance to really get a performance type experience on a football field in a stadium regularly every week. And that will be really exciting. I think that will really help us to pull the show together in better than we have in years past. The competitions are laid out there. We're going to be giving you a hard copy of all of this information when you come to your first practice next week on the 10th of June. And So you'll be able to put those onto your calendar. There shouldn't be any huge surprises there. We're excited to be able to participate in all of those. The only thing that is up in the air at this point is whether or not there's going to be a football season. Things are looking good right now at the moment, and once we have a solidified football schedule and we've negotiated which games we can play for halftime, I will let you know, and we will plan on those. We are also going to put a family night on the calendar as soon as the school is ready to commit to a calendar for the facilities next year. Most likely, the family night will take place near the end of October before we go down to St. George for the state championship competition. All right, I know a lot of people have been excited about the field show this year and asking questions about what we're going to do. So without further ado, this year's show is going to be called Wildfire. And different, breaking from tradition from previous years, we are going to completely customize the arrangement of the music. The show that we will perform this year has never been performed by any band ever. So we're excited to bring that to our students and let you see what this is all about. I'm going to send you a link to a short video that includes some of the music that we're arranging this year. Keep in mind that the music that you'll hear in that video is not the arrangement that we're going to use for the show. We're having an arranger right now actually work on writing a customized arrangement that will include lots of really fun percussion stuff. It'll include a lot of really fun wind music, and it's going to be a really, really exciting show. The theme is basically destruction and forest fire, out of control at the beginning, and resolving at the end with rebirth and renewal. And we had decided on this concept before the pandemic broke out, but we feel like it's really fitting this year to have a show that really focuses on picking up the pieces after something really terrible happens and focusing on the positive. So we're excited to put this show together. I think you're really going to enjoy the music, especially this year, and I think there's a lot of opportunity here for a really, really memorable show. We plan to go on our tour this year around the state championship, Red Rocks tournament down in St. George. We're going to leave on October 29th and plan to come back on October 31st. The schedule for that tour will be as follows. Thursday the 29th, we'll go down in the morning. Probably before that, we'll probably hit up a couple of junior high schools and play for students there before we head down to St. George and have a rehearsal at Dixie High School. That hasn't been confirmed yet, but that's something that we typically do. We will play laser tag at Laser Mania that night and treat everybody to a nice dinner. And then the next day, Friday, we're going to spend the whole day at the state championship. We'll spend a lot of that time preparing to perform and performing and then cleaning up afterwards, but then we'll spend the rest of the day probably just watching bands and enjoying some great marching band performances. And then on the next day, Saturday, we will return home in the morning after we've had a good night's sleep. We'll plan to do the beloved Fat Boy ice cream sandwich fundraiser this year. But I have to be completely honest, this year we're starting out the season a little bit behind. The reason for that is that the parades that I mentioned before that we're not able to do this year are typically a fundraiser for us. We actually raise a pretty significant amount of money doing those parades. Having those cut out from us, we are starting a little bit behind financially this year. So I'm asking any parents that would like to or feel like they could help with some fundraising efforts. We have some other ideas. We just need a little bit of help to get things off the ground and running to raise some more money for the marching band. We like to try to keep the fees as low as possible, and I pride our band on having the lowest marching band fees in the whole district, in all of Alpine School District. We charge the students the least, and I feel like we're able to do more with less in that regard. But in order to keep it that way, we really just need to get some fundraising going. So if anybody feels like they would be able to help with that, please reach out to me, send me an email, let me know, and we'll get you on our fundraising committee. Okay, the total fees this year will be $550. That includes everything from the music and the drill writing that are customized for us. It also includes any time that we travel to or from an event. It includes the registration fees for all of the competitions and events that we participate in. And it will also cover the travel to and from St. George, as well as hotels while we are there, and any costs associated with the state marching band championship. If money is something that is a concern for you, please don't let that be the reason you don't do marching band. Let me know. There are some scholarships available, and we've been able to help out lots and lots of students who are in a time of financial need but would still like to participate in marching band. And we've been able to work that out and make that work for all of them. So please, please be a part of the band. Let me know if you need help financially, and we can do that for you. Everybody can be a part of the band. This year, because of the nature of the uncertainty surrounding the pandemic and not knowing how things are going to pan out over the next several months, right now the Utah High School Activities Association and the Utah Music Educators Association are planning on a season that will be business as usual. But as we know, as we've seen over the last few months, things can change in a moment's notice. And in order to plan for that, we're asking that students make payments in 4 installments. The first one being for the summer rehearsals. We'll ask you to pay a quarter of the fees then, as soon as possible once we get going here. And then if we make it to the band camp season, end of July, beginning of August, we are asking for the next installment for that. And if we make it into the school year and we start having fall rehearsals and into the competition season, we'll ask for that quarter. And then finally, if we make it to the end of the season and we are ready to go to our state championship, we will ask for the final installment. Of course, you can pay for everything up front. That's totally fine, but we're making this payment schedule available to those who are wanting to be cautious about the uncertain times that we're in. Fees will be due 1 month in advance of that quarter of the season. For example, fees for the camps will be due 1 month before the first camp. Fees for the fall season will be due 1 month before the first competition, and the fees for the tour will be due 1 month before the tour. Once a fee has been paid for that specific thing, and we've reached that due date 1 month in advance, we won't be able to refund that. The reason for that being is that we're already having to put money down for the music and the drill and some of the other things that we're going to be participating in this year. And in order for us to be able to plan ahead, we need to be able to have funds in place to do that. And I know that's not the most desirable setting to be in, but it's just the reality of being a marching band and having to plan well in advance in order to have the best experience in place for the students. If you've never been a part of the band, you're going to need to get some shoes, some special marching shoes that will help you not only to be comfortable, as you're marching, but also to develop good technique. The marching shoes that we use are specially shaped to develop good marching technique. For a new pair of shoes, the cost is $35. You can pay that to the financial office, and we'll have a way for you to order those. And we will order those shoes for you. If you are not sure if you can pay for a new pair of shoes, I have an assortment of used but in good condition shoes that are in the band room. And all you need to do is ask me or a staff member to take a look at those and see if there's something that would work for you. Either way is fine, but you are going to need some shoes. It's part of the uniform, but it's a part of the uniform that you can keep. So we're asking you to pay for those. Parents, there are lots of opportunities to serve and be a part of the band. We would love to have you help, whether it be in something that is big and kind of in the public eye a little bit, or if you would rather be kind of on the sidelines and working backstage, so to speak. We would love to put your talents and skills to good use for these students. So if there is something that you feel like you have to offer the band, we would love to talk to you. We'd love to get you on our parent booster organization and get you in a position where you can help students have a great marching band experience. We've had some wonderful parents be a part of the band in the past, and every single one of them has told me how much they love getting to know the students and getting to know the process of being a part of the band. So we'd like to get you involved. Please reach out to me or to the booster email, which is on the screen, ormband@gmail.com, and we'd like to get you set up to start helping out with the band. Please consider volunteering some time with the band. It's a great experience, and it goes a long way with the kids that are involved. Once again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. I will get back to you as soon as possible. My name again is Mr. Tippett. My email is mtippets@alpinedistrict.org, and I would love to hear from you. Otherwise, I'm excited to see everybody on next Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. and look forward to having another awesome marching band season with Orem High School this year.